Goyal, we live in interesting times, don't we? You've been a busy man. I've told that you were just in meetings there with the Home Minister. That's why you're late on the program tonight, working late into the night. I hope you're keeping safe. Let's get into a couple of straight questions. Let's not make the questions technical. Piyush Goyal, my first question to you is, some people are apprehensive that so much money is being pumped in that it's an indication that the lockdown will go on forever. Any truth in that thinking?
Well, I think no sensible person can even venture to imagine such a situation.
Okay. Piyush Goyal, let's talk strategy.
I think the purpose of the lockdown, Arnab, by now I've heard you so often, you clearly understand the purpose of the lockdown was to break the chain. And I think you have very well articulated it in so many shows. Prime Minister Modi has shown visionary leadership that in a country of 130 crore people, unless we broke the chain early on, we would have had a colossal problem on our head without adequate preparation. We have used the last 50 odd days to prepare the country, a country which had almost zero production of PPEs is today making 2 lakh PPEs, probably the second largest in the whole world. I think the chain has been broken to a very large extent. We started when we were about 500 cases only. Imagine if we had not done the lockdown, where the country could have been. It's beyond comprehension what dimension this could have taken. So compliments to the Honorable Prime Minister for his vision.
No doubt about it. And, we said it even before the Prime Minister said it yesterday, that had it not been for the structural reforms of the last 6 years, we would not probably have been in a situation to go through almost a 55-day lockdown. Tell me, Piyush Goyal, just look into the future. What do you see India 1 month from now? Where do you see us? I mean, will we have opened up? I know I'm not getting you into the details, which should be announced. 1 month from now, where do you think we are going to be?
Well, frankly, I think the first and most important thing that I can see before my eyes as I talk to people is the self-confidence of 130 crore Indians. Despite hardships, despite difficulties, the fact that everybody has been provided for, the fact that even ordinary people are saying that even if I can feed 5 families, I'm happy to do that. The fact that most employers, by and large, most homes have kept their staff, are paying their staff. There will be, of course, a few instances. You go around a large country like India, you'll find a few truant cases. You may find quite a few also possibly. But I think by and large for a country which is a developing country yet to become a highly prosperous country, the people of India have demonstrated that we have the courage of conviction that we can fight this pandemic. We are united in this fight. And I think that self-confidence is going to lead India to emerge as a strong superpower in the days and months to come.
Well, I mean, I'm just placing in contrast. Viewers, remember, Piyush Goyal is live tonight. Remember, Chidambaram said, our economy will see a downfall. Rahul Gandhi was cheering on unemployment figures. Tharoor actually said, don't worry, the economy will shrink and there will be social unrest. These were the comments made. I don't want Piyush Goyal to respond to these silly comments. But Piyush Goyal, you are the Minister for Railways. I want you to respond to what Amrinder Singh said. I just had the quote before me, before I pull it up. What Amrinder Singh essentially was saying was, what's the point? There are going to be no workers because many of the workers who've gone now are not going to be coming back. Now, there's a huge contradiction there because the same people, the same party 1 month back was saying, why are workers not being allowed to go? And the same people are now saying, all the workers have gone. Who's going to work in your MSMEs? Your response to that, please.
Arnab, I am quite confident that a large number of workers are still staying put. There are a number of workers who want to go back home. There could be a variety of reasons. They want to go back to their family. They want to meet their maybe aged parents, their children once. And I think it's our duty. And as Railways, we are trying to work towards giving everybody safe passage. We have already run about 700 trains so far. My capacity is to run 300 trains every day. and I've geared up 1,200 trains ready, wanting to run. Every day we can run about 300 trains. I'm hoping that the state governments can come to agreement. Sad part is a state like West Bengal, even after the Honorable Home Minister makes that appeal through his letter, even after I have been making appeals, gave us permission after Home Minister's letter for 8 trains. Even out of that 8 trains, they have not accepted those 8 trains 4 days later. That happened on the 9th morning. Today is the 13th. And I was reviewing it this afternoon. Even now, the total approvals from West Bengal are about 7. We've only been able to run
you're
7
saying
trains.
Mamta's not taking back. This is a big charge. You're saying that because we heard reports as well. You're saying Mamta is not ensuring that migrant workers from Bengal are being taken back to Bengal. Why don't you pick up the phone and speak to her?
No, Maharashtra government.
Yeah.
Maharashtra government, well, if the Honorable Home Minister's letter didn't have any impact, and she was complaining about it on the talk with the chief ministers as reported in the press, I'm not privy to it, but Maharashtra, which is an opposition rule state, just suppose she has concerns about the BJP states, Delhi, which is a Aam Aadmi Party run state, Maharashtra, which is a Congress and Shiv Sena run state. Even these states are not able to send the West Bengal people back home. As we speak, Maharashtra has sent a list of 17 trains that they're required to send from different parts of Maharashtra to West Bengal. But we don't get permission. Not one train has been permitted from Maharashtra as we speak. Until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. After that, I've been in meetings. So if she has done something after 3 o'clock, well,
मैं इस बात को हिंदी में भी आपसे पूछूंगा पीयूष गोयल जी, ताकि हमारे जितने दर्शक हिंदी चैनल और जितने हमारे हिंदी भाषी दर्शक हैं इसको सुने। पीयूष गोयल जी, आप कह रहे हैं कि महाराष्ट्र से और दिल्ली से जितने बंगाल के जितने वहाँ पे मजदूर हैं, माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स हैं, उनको ममता बनर्जी वापस नहीं ले रही। इसके बारे में ज़रा हिंदी में हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं, क्योंकि ये सवाल बहुत माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स भी कर रहे हैं कि हम जा क्यों नहीं पा रहे बंगाल।
मैं अपने सभी मजदूर भाई बहनों को बताना चाहूँगा, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने मुझे स्पष्ट निर्णय देके ये सुविधा सुनिश्चित की है कि 300 गाड़ियाँ रोज चल सकती हैं अलग अलग हिस्सों से देश के। रोज 300 गाड़ियाँ आपको अपने घर ठिकाने बहुत सुरक्षित तरीके से पहुँचा सकती हैं। ऐसी 1200 ट्रेन हमने सुरक्षित रखी है सिर्फ आपको घर लेके जाने के लिए। पर मैं वो ट्रेन पहुंचा नहीं पा रहा हूं क्योंकि कई राज्य ट्रेनों को आने नहीं दे रहे हैं। अब उत्तर प्रदेश देखिए कितनी गाड़ियां चली गई, 300 से अधिक गाड़ियां उत्तर प्रदेश चल चुकी है। बिहार में कितनी गाड़ियां चली गई, मैं समझता हूँ 170 के करीब गाड़ियां बिहार चली गई। लेकिन पश्चिम बंगाल, माननीय गृह मंत्री ने पत्र लिखने के बाद भी शुरू में तो 9 तारीख तक सिर्फ 2 गाड़ियां ली थी, एक अजमेर शरीफ राजस्थान से और एक एर्नाकुलम से। जब माननीय गृह मंत्री ने चिट्ठी लिखी तो हमें बताया गया 8 गाड़ियों की परमिशन 8 तारीख को दे दी गई। अब हमें तो रेलवे में 9 तारीख की दोपहर तक पता ही नहीं था, हमें तो जानकारी नहीं थी अब वो परमिशन कहाँ थी पता नहीं। खैर, पर उसके बाद 8 गाड़ियां भी अभी तक नहीं ली हैं, हम और 5 ही चला पाए। तो आज तक दोपहर के 3 बजे तक सिर्फ 7 गाड़ियां देश के अन्य इलाकों से वेस्ट बंगाल के लिए निकल पाई हैं। गाड़ियां खाली पड़ी हैं पर हम भेज नहीं पा रहे। तो मैं हाथ जोड़ के सभी राज्यों से विनती करूंगा कि आप लोग जल्द से जल्द, अपने ही लोग हैं, आपके लोग अपने घर आना चाहते हैं, उनको आप क्यों रोक रहे हैं? उनको आने दीजिए, उनको अपने घर परिवारजनों से मिलने दीजिए और मिल मिला के थोड़ा समय लगा के वो घर जाना चाहेंगे तो हम उसकी भी सुविधा बना देंगे।
बिल्कुल,
मैं समझता हूँ अर्थव्यवस्था जल्दी पिकअप हो जाएगी, सबको काम फिर मिल जाएगा। लेकिन हम सब राज्यों ने इसके लिए मिलजुल के सहयोग करना चाहिए, एक होके काम करना चाहिए। मेरे इस बात में भी राजनीति कोई ना करे कृपा करके। मैं अभी भी हाथ जोड़ के विनती करता हूँ कि सभी राज्य अपने अपने लोगों को ले ले, अपने घर जाने दें, सुरक्षित जाने दें। आप स्टेशन पे चेक कर लीजिए उनका टेम्परेचर, कोई सिम्टोमेटिक लगे उसको अस्पताल ले जाइए या घर जाके उनको कहिए घर में 15 दिन क्वारंटाइन हो जाए। इतना तो विश्वास मैं समझता हूं अपने खुद के नागरिकों पे हम सब कर सकते हैं।
Piyush Goyal, one
और
point.
योगी महाराज ने इसका सही माने में पालन किया है।
Piyush Goyal, let's switch track now. We were talking about the Swadeshi Kranti. Question to you is, can we attract thousands of companies? Can we attract all the American companies which want to move out of China? Are we in a position to beat China? You see, we need to set up industries fast. If people want to move from China to India, they will need speed. We'll need to move fast. Prime Minister indicated land labor law. But things have to move fast. There have to be online clearances. Then we can move this whole geopolitically away from China towards India. Are we in a position to do that?
Undoubtedly, Arnab. Undoubtedly, this nation, our entrepreneurs, our skilled workers, we have the capacity to beat any country in the world when it comes to producing quality goods, when it comes to giving products which can meet the gaps in international supply chains, make supply chains more resilient, and ensure that supply chains are amongst trusted partners, amongst countries which have a democratic government, transparent governance, and speed. And I can assure you, the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Home Minister, the Honorable Finance Minister, they are all burning the midnight
But
oil
Piyush Goyal, let me push it further with you. No, let me put it further with you. My question is, you know, see, fantastic. We moved the automatic, we blocked the automatic route for approving FDI from countries across the border. Obviously, it was aimed at China. And countries like Japan are spending billions of dollars for companies to shift base out of China. So what we need to do is milk the moment. Can we milk the moment? Can we move very fast? Can we get rid of the red tapeism, which sometimes costs us dearly? People want to move to India, but sometimes Sri Lanka, Thailand, they move quicker. Even Bangladesh moves quicker now. Can we move quicker so that we gain the opportunity? Because we're the only country which provides a big local market as well.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, Arnab. The fact that we have 130 crore Indians aspiring for a better quality of life is a huge plus, which every good businessman worldwide recognizes. And they want to work in India because of our democratic framework. And I think the effort that the Honorable Prime Minister and his team is doing, and all of us are working towards actually making single window a reality, actually bringing plug and play infrastructure and industrial parks, actually ensuring a red carpet will bear us good results. And when you compare ourselves with, let's take for example, a country like Vietnam. Now, you won't find the kind of discourse in Vietnam that very often you find here. You won't find the kind of mudslinging, the kind of petty politics that we often see in India. I think this is the time where mature leadership demonstrates what togetherness is, what oneness is, how our nation stands together in the time of crisis. I think if you recall, in 91, when Narasimha Rao ji was the Prime Minister and Lal Krishna Advani ji was the leader of the opposition, he would stand shoulder to shoulder with Narasimha Rao.
Yeah.
He went to the whole world.
Yeah.
And I remember this because he actually went on a world mission to promote the India story as opposition leader.
Yeah.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee went to the UN to talk about India.
Yeah.
I think that kind of mature political leadership and opposition is sadly lacking. This is the time where instead of squabbling over small things, I think if all the political parties were to come together, we can not only meet the needs of the world, we can actually transform into India into the fastest growing economy, and not only the fastest growing economy, an economy which serves 130 crore Indians a better future for their children.
Yeah, Piyush Goyal, you say you hit the nail on the head as well. May I return the compliment when you spoke about 1991. Viewers, remember what Piyush Goyal talks about 1991. Of course, I mean, you're expecting too much when you say Lal Krishna Advani was the opposition leader then, and there was Narasimha Rao on the other side. It was different quality of opposition. But at that time also we were staring at an oil crisis, 91. And we faced the challenge and we emerged as an economic power. This is possibly 1991 all over again, but at a different scale of ambition. So I'm really delighted that the ambition is there, but Piyush Goyal's words will make it clear we're not falling down a cliff. We are actually climbing a hill and we are at the base camp. Piyush Goyal, good to see you energetic. I hope you keep safe. I see the mask there. I hope you use it all the time. And I wish you well. And thank you for talking and for all the hard work you guys are putting in.
Thank you, Arnab, and my best wishes to you, your family, to all your colleagues, to all the panelists and their families. Good
Thank
luck
you
to
so
all
much.
of you. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Okay, let's go back to the debate.